You now are listening to the audio podcast of Prisoners of Hope, the antidote to what ails your heart. I'm your host, Dr. Debbora Whitson. So come on in, pull up a chair, and open up your mind as you get ready to receive the download that hope will bring. Today is a good day, and you're in for a treat because here comes the second part of the interview with Vincent Johnson, the man behind the music of the podcast. Enjoy.
I knew I wasn't stupid. I knew I was a smart young man, but I just didn't know how to study and apply myself. And so I applied to Berkeley my very first year. They said, you know what, you got a lot of talent, but your GPA graduating out of high school, we're sorry. You know, we're one of the top schools in the world. And so you're gonna have to work your buns off, man, and go to a community college or to another university and then apply again. Well, I did that. And my first year at Metropolitan State College, now university, I got a 4.0. And
Wow.
yeah, it was, for me, that was a very big deal because I'd never got anything above a 2.5. You know, and so that was my first year really learning. I think it's important for young people and anyone to learn how they learn. And that was when I was able to determine, oh, I understand I'm a visual learner. And I'm an audible learner as well. And so I applied to Berkeley again, got accepted. Not only did I get accepted, but I got a scholarship.
Wow.
So then I went to Berkeley and College of Music. I went there for 2.5 years, and then I got an opportunity, as do most musicians that go to some of the top schools. A lot of them people don't know this, but a lot of them don't actually finish. A lot of them go to the top schools, and then they generally get offers in the industry and have to work.
Wow.
And so they find themselves on tour, which is what I did. I got an offer to come back to Minneapolis, and I was able to stay with a family that at the time they were, the music family, still are in the top music family in Minneapolis, the Peterson family, and they adopted me. It's the Lair Peterson family. They adopted me as the African-American, Latin, Italian kid coming in. They called me Vinny, bada boom, bada bang. And so I stayed with them for a year. And Linda Peterson, which we all call her Ma, she just really taught me how to get a gig, how to keep a gig. Her son at the time was playing saxophone for Prince. So I had an opportunity to go to rehearse and rehearse with the New Power Generation and some of the guys from the time. And I mean, I really meant conditions. So I was really able to kind of cut my teeth there in Minneapolis and learn a lot from the Peterson family, which they're just an absolute phenomenal musical family, brothers and sisters. All of them are very influential in the music industry and some of the most amazing musicians that you would could ever meet. And then from there, I spent a year or so there and then came back to Denver, Colorado, and got another scholarship to Denver University for jazz composition.
Wow.
And that was fun. Hard, really hard work. Because my background wasn't in reading music. My background was just in playing. So I had to kind of, when I went to college, I really had to play catch up with sight reading and reading music and chords and understanding arrangements. But I did it. I did the hard work. I've always said I've had to work twice as hard just to. And God was with me. He was with me through that time. And then after that, during that particular time, I had gotten an offer I got signed to MTV Records under a gentleman, Danny Serafin. and he had his subsidiary label here in Colorado. And the group was called Lyric. Lyric, and the first CD we did was called Chocolate Soup. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, it was very different music. It was kind of an eclectic, acoustic R&B soul with a rock edge.
Is it kind of like Weather Report? Would you describe it like that?
Well, no, I probably would say it was more like um, Daryl Hall and John Oates,
Okay.
uh, meets Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it was different, and we hit the charts, and we went into charts at the 135th spot and topped out at the 11th spot in about 6 weeks, I think it was. And we were very fortunate. We went on tour, and I had a publishing deal, and I was a songwriter for MTV for 3.5 years, a total of 7 years with my entire contract with MTV. And it was good. It was very good, very good. It was fun, a lot of fun.
So along the way, you had to enhance your gift. And it seems like you said you studied twice as hard.
Yeah.
Uh, what else did you do to enhance your gift? Because a lot of people think, oh, you're just giving your gift and you don't have to do nothing, and it's just natural. No, you have to work at it, and that's what I want to hear audience to hear.
Yeah.
So, what did you have to do besides study twice as hard, or what are you doing ongoing to enhance your gift?
I am a student of life, and meaning that everything I do, my foundation is spiritual. So everything I do, I look through the perspective of the Holy Spirit and how the Holy Spirit is speaking to me.
Mhm.
Um, so as a producer, we'll start there. My dream has always been to be a producer, which I was very fortunate to do that. Sometimes your life may take a little different detour as a musician, as a touring musician, a singer, songwriter, and an artist. I was able to do those things at a young age, but knowing that I wanted to produce was a love of mine. And a producer is kind of like a barber or a bartender, right? You know
Mhm.
you're doing psychology. If and so I frequently found myself in studios with very talented musicians
Mhm.
that didn't know how to unearth their gift.
Wow. Okay.
And so my gift is unearthing others' gifts
Awesome.
and kind of dusting them off. And if they're a diamond in the rough, I have a philosophy when it comes to producing music and producing individuals. And my philosophy is to not harm. So there are some of an old school philosophy, maybe like Ike Turner, where they
Mhm.
feel like they have to strip the artist completely down to get them to be what they want them to be. And I don't believe in that philosophy. Um, I've been through that, and it didn't work for me.
Mhm.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
so what I what I found that God has given me a gift towards and to do, and is to find the sparkle in an artist
Awesome.
and shine a light on that sparkle.
Mhm.
And inevitably, what happens is the areas that are uh, deficient get better.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the movie Moneyball, right? You put a team together, and you don't want everybody to be, you know, the best best baseman and the best hitter. You don't want all those people to be all those things. You just need that one person to do that one job and be
Wow.
really good at that one job. And then you
Mhm.
put your team together. That's the same philosophy I have as putting a band together. I do the same, I have the same approach when it comes to developing and designing music for artists.
So it's kind of like anything that you want to be a master of your trade, not a master of all,
Right.
because a master of all is a two-headed beast.
That's right.
He just doesn't. I mean, Bo knows. Remember Bo? He knew football and
That's
baseball.
that's
Then
right, right, right,
what happened to Bo?
right,
But anyway, it's just to specialize. Like when I go get knee replacement, I go to the doctor who that's all he does all day is
right.
knee replacements.
That's right.
I
Right.
don't want an orthopedic surgeon that does hand surgery, even though
Exactly.
qualified. So
Right.
I can understand what you're saying in terms of you kind of put it together. I kind of like Johnny Cochran was. He was
Right.
kind of like the dream team architect. He
Right.
put them all together and he had them all
Right.
working their area of expertise.
That's right.
That's interesting. Whenever you work with a group, you want to work on people's strengths,
Right.
n- not their weakness. You want to modify their
Right.
strengths because
That's right.
in that area, that's where you're going to get the best. And I can see that philosophy. I believe in that too.
Well, yeah,
This
and
is
it encourages them even in their deficits, right? Because
right.
they're doing something that they love, they're doing something that they're
Right.
good at, and in the area where they may have a deficit, they look at that and go, "You know what? I can do this.
That's right.
I can do
That's
this."
right.
Mhm.
That's right. It seems like you've been blessed enough to fall into the area that God put you here on this earth. I just amazed at people who spend their whole life. Like, have you ever had a doctor that you knew that he hated being a doctor? Oh
Yeah,
my
don't scare me. Those doctors scare me.
God. It's like you
They
are
don't usually last too long with me.
that's a lot of schooling to hate what you do.
That's
I
right,
mean,
that's right.
it's just like I'm probably immature because I have to do something that I really enjoy doing. Like when you go to work, you look up and it's like 5 hours later, you're like, wow,
Right,
as opposed to tick, tick forward, five ticks back
that's right,
when when you hate your job.
right, when
I
it
want
was over.
I wanted to ask you about your process because the audience, I don't know if they know, Vince wrote the song Prisoners of Hope that is the intro and the outro for this podcast. And I think it's just amazing. I'm waiting for him to finish the whole song.
Thank
But
you, sir, thank you.
if you work with creative people, you got to know you can't push up. It's just the way
That's
it
right.
is. So
It
I'm
just has
just
to
sitting here
flow.
waiting. But could you tell me what process that you went through when you wrote the song Prisoners of Hope?
Yeah, it was very interesting because, uh, inspiration comes in a myriad of different ways. So inspiration for me for this particular song, uh, "Prisoners of Hope," you had told me the story behind Prisoners of Hope and what it meant to you. And so I carried that with me. And at the time we were talking about, doing a theme song for the show, for the podcast. And so as you're walking your wake life, the inspiration. Here's my philosophy behind inspiration. I believe if you have faith for inspiration and step forward with your heart and your mind in sync, God will put the necessary variables in front of you as you're stepping. So it's a faith walk. You have to
Right.
step forward and then he puts it there. But you can't sit and go, well, God just inspired me, inspire me. No, you have to step forward. And for me, stepping forward was being a very awareness. So one morning, I'm going out to breakfast, and there's this young lady. Her name is Nina, and she is just bubbly, bouncing all over the place, and just as friendly she can be, taking my order, and just brings life to her coworkers.
Awesome.
And you can tell that. And I watched her a couple of times. I think she's just got her she's cool. She's really cool. Like. And so I said, okay, all right. And then one morning I said, well, she's taking my order. I said, well, I got to hurry because I've got a session at home, and I've got to get home to work on a session. I've got a client coming. She goes, wow, I'm a musician. I said, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, I'm a singer. Now, in the spirit, God knew this. And in my spirit, I knew there was something special about this individual. Awareness is a lot of times the key, and sensitivity is the key of stepping forward in faith into what it is that your passion is. So here she goes, and she says, well, here, I'm going to leave my phone with you, and I'll let you listen to this, and you can tell me what you think. She walks away. She leaves her phone with me. She comes back about 3 or 4 minutes later, and there's tears rolling down my face.
Wow. Wow.
And I looked up at her and I said, you're not a singer. I said, you are the singer. And she smiles. She goes, I've been told that before. Where there's this little bubbly, humble personality. And I said, okay, Lord, what are you trying to tell me? He goes, I need for you to use her. You told me to bring a singer to you. And I have been praying, Lord, bring a singer. I need a female singer. Just bring a singer. Well, there was something that stood out about this individual. So I said, hey, you know what? If you got some time in the next couple of days, maybe you can come through the studio and I have you sing on some stuff and we can see what we can do. She goes, okay, cool, great. La da 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 da, and we connected. And before she came, Prisoners of Hope had been kind of coming out of me musically, what the sound sounds like, putting it in a harmonic frequency that is about healing, which is A432, putting it at a frequency that's going to heal people, because what you're doing, Deborah, is about healing.
Yes.
Quintessentially, that's what you're doing. And so this is more of a faith walk, right? And you step forward and you pick up the phone and you say, hey, Vince, this is what I'm looking for. And I say, okay, let me, get my mind, my heart sync together. And I'm stepping forward, and musically, I'm already kind of marinating what I was feeling in the spirit realm for this. And this individual comes into my path because I'm stepping forward.
Well, this is the end of the second part of The Man Behind the Music. Hopefully this will warm your heart and get you to moving forward on your God-given purpose. But until next time, God bless you. Signing off, Dr. D. My hope is that this journey has been fruitful and you're able to take it and apply it to your life. Until next time, tune in again for the Prisoners of Hope podcast. God bless.